Friday afternoon in Yojushi, it is time for the second round of the E1 Charity Open live on the KLPGA Tour. This is the 13th E1 Charity Open. We are at the Peiram Club in Gyeonggi-do. Second of three rounds in this 54-hole stroke play event with 1 billion won up for grabs in the purse this week. With the conditions, well, they're not necessarily the most beautiful. It's a little bit wet, it's rainy, it's certainly cooler than it was yesterday, only at 15 degrees Celsius, with a 2 meter per second wind being recorded from around the course. My name is Adam Jenkins. Pleasure to have you along with us for another afternoon on the KLPGA. We'll be keeping an eye on numerous groups, many of which are just beginning their back nines. Pacquiao is one of those players. The aforementioned featured groups. She is currently 2 under par for the round, 7 under for the tournament, and is delivering a really nice approach shot up onto the green. And Shea Inu playing a tee shot at the par 3 8th at 5 under par. That is currently inside of the top 10. Green today on number 8, 15 yards off the front, 7 yards from the right fringe, or better yet, just look at where that tee shot went. That is where the pin is located. Good start to the par 3. It is the 137 meters only. It is the shortest hole on the golf course. Noticeably, as we check in Pacquiao on 7, much more windy today. It was almost dead still yesterday. Right to left breaking putts. She's not quite going to find. One more 4 apart. A rather tricky puzzle for So-Yeon Jung to try to solve. There will be lots of left to right break. Downhill putt speed will not be an issue. Just hangs on long enough. Look at this run for her. 4 birdies in a row to hit the turn at a 34. That's 2 under this Friday. Shea Ream at 6 under. So a downhill putt, right to left break. She didn't like it immediately. Knew she would need a second tap. Keep falling across the course. Pacquiao with a good setup. Put circles on 1, 8, and 9. It is 3 under at the midway mark. Just a little bit short. Could not be any closer to the hole without falling in. Shea will have to settle for a par. That's been the case on every hole except for the 6th, on which she bogeyed. nestled up in the mountainous forest in Gyeonggi-do. Suchi to save a par. She is at 2 under. Our leader, by the way, Lee at 11 under par. Park Young is 1 stroke back. She matched her 67 from yesterday. Lee Jung in the clubhouse with a 69. Park Yeol, who we just saw moments ago, along with Chae Ri, the only 2 active players inside of the top 10. Momentary pause on hole number 8 while the group waits for the green to clear. We can tell you, as this has been a hole that has been absolutely chock full of birdies. Chae 2 all the way down to Kochi, one of the players tied for 9th position. The only 2 people who have not birdied this hole from that mix of 20 players is Chae 2, the leader ironically, and Chae Ri, who is about to tee off. Everyone else has birdied. It's an attackable pin. It's all up to execution. 3 holes now without a birdie. Chae Ri lands on the green but drifts off to the border of the fringe, pin high. More 2 shots coming up soon. First, Kim Min-sun 7. She was the clubhouse leader after 18 holes. She is down to 4 under par after 6. A rocky start to the round, to put it mildly. That is +4. She bogeyed the first, she bogeyed the 6th, she double bogeyed the 5th, and that was after going 18 holes without one yesterday. Decent arrival, but neither she nor Chae Ri are particularly thrilled. Park Ji-young in the rough after the tee shot at 7. It's only 100 meters to go though. From the rough, playing a 52-degree wedge right over the middle. She'll run it down the hill and should be absolutely elated with the rather short distance remaining. Park Ji-young inside of the top 10. She is only 1 under for the day though. A nice positive jolts if she can convert on that bird. Now Chae Inu here on 9, over par through 8 holes on the East Course. Disappear before the fairway, never a tremendous sign. It's not definitive that she has missed. We'll have to wait and see. So Yeon Jung. So disappearing behind the downslope. I have a feeling there is fairway there. It's windy, but it's not so windy that the players will be short off the tee. That's a good perspective as well, isn't it? From in behind as he blocks, you can see that first fairway bunker and the drastic upslope. downhill. She will also appear to be in a safe position. Back to 7. Kim Min Sun 7 putting. This would be her third on the par 4. Well right to start it. Needs to get it speedy enough to bring the downslope in. It's well under hit. And now suddenly looking at a par save situation. Chanu at number 9, 255 to go, but she is also perched up over 10 meters above the pin. Needs to try to shape this around the trees. Something that would look exactly like that. Great second shot. It's 18 with Yu So-yeon 2. This is her 9th hole of the day, teed off at the 10th. She is at 5 under. Depth-wise, that's a helpful kick. Is just off to the right, but in a fair area of the fringe, let's say. Putt will be shaped like a U for Park Ji-young. Downhill and then up on the other side. Not quite gonna have the speed, even though the pace was perfect. Gentlest of nudges, that will be a par. Sky with their drone shot overlooking this very well defended green with 3 bunkers all around it. Shea Ream for birdie. Excellent birdie. Tied for 5th now. Her 3rd over the course of her first 8 holes. No such luck from a much closer distance, but a putt with a lot of lateral movements. Park Ji-young also on the par 3. Just short. A revolution or 2 more, and she would have been there. Nice par. Be the score. Puck heel was indeed safe after the tee shot at 10. It's 1:45 to go. Not quite going to reach the green with the iron, the slightest of headwinds. Janu approaching on the par 5, only 130 to go. Wedge up to the back. Pin today is only 17 yards from the rear. Didn't quite get it to hit and stick. She rolls off to the second cut around the green. First cut around the green, I suppose. So Yan Jung, a 7-iron, 131. Trouble getting to and staying on the putting surface, but a much more perilous predicament. So she is in the thick rough around the green. That will make the short game significantly more challenging. Suji, so approaching the par 5 ninth. Fared much better than that. All up to the putter now. Soyeon 2 has decided to chip. Skips it twice, just off to the right. .600 still a very good mark to be at. 50% of the way through the round after that tap in. A pitching wedge off the tee for Park Ji-young at number 8. She is not able to carry enough, and down the hill towards the trees she heads. If she decides to take a provisional, that could be dire straits. Keeping our theme of par 5s going, this is Yen Se-rin. Using the runway before the green to absorb a lot of the speed. She still ends up a ways away. Early days for her. Quick birdie on the 10th. On 2 gets her par at the turn. It was a 34. Young, the penultimate hole on the East course. Much more like it. That's what we're seeing here today. Supporters thought there was a chance. Play from off the green, so Yan Jung looking to get up and down for a par. Hardly outdone. Glancing down towards the fringe, but in a safe spot. She felt like it was always going to be 2 putts. Raquel hopes it's just 2. Cheyenne from off the green to about 12 centimeters. Young found it. Not necessarily as precarious as it appeared to have been. That's half the equation. Trying to come up with a par save.
정도 남은 거. 이건 더 커도 상관없어. 굿샷.
We had just said moments ago, needed it to just be 2 putts. It ends up with a 3rd and a bogey. Suji doesn't fare much better with the flat stick. Breaking away to the right, it's a no-go. 36 with a birdie at 2 and a bogey at 4 halfway through the round. Sanjang able to salvage the par. Bit of a cold streak right now across the Bayram Club. Another one for the column, unfortunately. Rather difficult to read. She was worried that she was headed down the hill and into the forest. And is still able to dust herself off and leave the hole with a par.
Shot!
Looking to rebound. Starts with a good drive. Young, after 7 long holes, finally cards a birdie. Second to last on the front 9. Good approach, good putt, well deserved. Drive to get the hole started and away on the jog. As Buck Young. Third shot from the fairway at 9, 128 meters to go. Lands on the border of the fringe and kicks into the rough. As we near the bottom of the clock, we can take a moment to catch our breath and survey the leaderboard. Puckiel, after that bogey, down to a tie for 4th. She's 2 under through 10. Che Reem, 2 under through 8. Also 4 strokes back of our leader, Che 2 at 11 under par. We'll take a quick pause and come back with plenty more. This is the 13th E1 Charity Open, coming to you live from the Payrom Club. Back on the fairway at 11 with Pacquiao, who of all the players on the course is one of two with the best shot at making a run for the top. Closest to the pin thus far. Jay Ream putting from the fringe, coming back online, but a little too late to move. Soyeon Jung, oh, nicely inside the previous two approaches. She is in the best position for a birdie. Go over to 10. Cheonu 133. She is in the rough. This is going to play closer to 150. Going to need a big club. A large amount of power. Checks down on the fairway just before the green and rolls on, but starting to slip back. It's Park Ji-young for a par save at 9. Shouldn't have been problematic and wasn't. 35 with the only birdie coming at the 4th hole. .113 for Kim Soo-ji, the approach shot on the par 4 10th. Good drive to get started. An equally solid swing of the iron to get there. Is prone to rattling off birdies in bunches. Left to right, breaking putts. Just going to have enough. Well judged and well executed. Lee Jung-min goes to 2 under. She had a triple bogey early on the front 9 though, so she will be on a bit of a recovery mission for the rest of the round. Uses just about every available yard of depth on this green. Not a ton of left to right or right to left break for that putt, so never say never. Pacquiao. Should move inside out.
Nice birdie!
One of the many reasons that she is in such a threatening position for the top spot. The putter is working to perfection. She has another. Would have realistically expected 2 putts, and that's what she's going to get. Kim In-sun 7 has relinquished another stroke. It's now +5 after 8. Unfortunately for her, that's bordering on capitulation. She'll take her wins where she can find them. That is reminiscent to her wedge shots from yesterday. Needs the putter to deliver next up. She has a birdie. Fist pumped and raised in the air as she watched the final few moments before the ball disappeared between the pin and the cup. On 11, So Jung to go to 3 under, downhill putt with some break. Not enough of it, evidently, as she perhaps overcompensates.
Nice putt.
Disappointing results, though plenty of golf still to be played as she nears the midway mark of the competition. And Serene on 13. Off to a scorcher to start. Just her 4th hole of the second round. She's got a handful of hours to try to methodically work her way around the course. This is Jay Ream. Shrugs off the drive. She has gone down towards the water. She looks to be okay. No indication that it's wet, but it is not the drive she wanted. Such drama. Conventional and effective first shots. Here's Park Ju-young, 6 back, 5 under. Not enough birdies for her liking on the front. The crest up, sit just off the fairway. These 3-round competitions, as we cut the field down after 36 holes. At the moment, the projected cuts line is at 1 under par. That's 10 back of each end to our leader, with a really promising round in progress, with Pacquiao 9 under after 11. Another break and back with more on the other side here on the KLPGA Tour.
쳐도 돼.
2:45 p.m. local time here in Yojushi, 13th E1 Charity Open. Pacquiao only 3 back of the lead, 7 holes to play. She is in an excellent run to begin this round. Bounce back after her first and only bogey at number 10 with a birdie. Plays her second shot on the par 5 well down amongst the fairway. Just inside of the fringe. Line needs to hang on. Slips away at the very end. Decent efforts. So Jung with that 5-wood in hand, able to find the fairway. She skitters into the rough. Standing over this downhill putt for birdie. Straight all the way. Movement didn't come until she was already astride the hole. And that is agonizing. Grazing the outside edge, but not enough to fall. More approaches. This time, well, one struck into the winds and lacking a little bit of club to get all the way up to the flag. Soyeonjung 95 meters, but buried in the thick stuff. Thick and wet. Needed extra club to escape that predicament. Want to be short again. She'll take some solace in the fact that she is putting. That spectrum is being a little bit short. She'll have the option to putts or to chip. Pacquiao approach time. Left to right breeze, 94 meters, maybe a little bit of a tailwind. No one is necessarily beaming with how those second shots fared, but nobody is in a particularly challenging situation either. Back a few holes to 9, Peso Hyunma, only a 1 under, 100 meters on the nose. Beyond satisfied with that. Good efforts. Set up for a par. A little bit of catch up to get on top of where everyone is. Beautiful to look at from the backside. It's not a place you want to be playing anywhere near to. Pacquiao, good speed. Just 98% when she needed 100. Tip of the cap as the supporters acknowledge the par. So Jung, this would take her to 3 under. A little bit of a breeze at her back, pops over the fault marker and actually does her a solid. G2 on 18. She nears the midway mark of her round in a decent spot at this stage in the round. Jungmi needs to drain this to avoid dropping to 1 under. If it's not 10, it's not far off. Just a little short. Will be a bogey. Okay, so Yan, 4.4, she'll have enough speed. 2 under she goes. Well prepared and well delivered putt. Pacquiao. Sheen Shield as she reaches the turn. 3.5 for birdie. She has that one as well. Pak Jiyoung still in a good position with half her round still to play. Approaches like that, the main reason for it. JG. Not a lot of break. She doesn't overcomplicate things. Even for the birdie, and understandably so. Driven around the trees. It was well shaped as she tried to be maybe just a touch greedy with the line. Been able to see very much of the flag, but that's what she attacked and she's rewarded for it. Nice approach. Well, one leap from the fringe into the rough. She's dry. I don't think she was worried about not being so. That's not where she would have preferred to be. You can see it's a tricky green here with the rolling nature of it. Brings all of those very steep greenside bunkers into play.
아까 밖에는 저 정도였었고 진짜.
We are through 1 hour of round 2. The projected cut line remains at 1 under. Iche and 2's lead remains at 1 from Pak Yang. Pakiel is through 12, 3 back of the top. See Chung So-Yi, she struggled today, 73 plus 1 to take her just to the fringes of the top 10, and there she will remain. Time for a break. When we return, hour 2 begins with the approach shots for our featured groups on hole number 11. Stay with us. Welcome back. Great to have you with us today. Pick up the action on number 12, Cheanu's approach shot. Perfect landing point. 1.5 meters at the very most will be what she faces for her birdie. She's earned that smug grin. That was one of her best approaches of the day. Pak Ji-young is hoping she can say the same, and yes, she can do. Soft pitch up from the tall grass. Very, very manageable position. There's one player we would take the keenest interest in on the back nine, it would be Pak Ji-young. Only 3 strokes back with lots of golf to play. She does have the bunker to navigate. She is in the rough. Plays conservative, and I don't think she'll mind this. Pin high and a little bit of help even down the slope. Maybe not conservative after all. That's a great turnout. Pak Ji-young for her birdie up the hill. Breaks away. She has been absolutely dialed in on her speed control. And a couple of these near misses today. Che Ream for her birdie. This would take her to 8 under par, just outside right. She would have believed for 90% of that roll that it was going. Cheanu would have believed for 100% of her walk up to the green that that birdie would go as well. But alas, maybe she just rushes through the motions a bit. Sun 7. Right to left, breaking putt. Rocked back on her heels, trying to will it in. I think it was even fathomable for her to be in this position after perfect start to a round, and already with wind under her belt. It's not as though she's in unfamiliar territory. Par 4, So Yeon-jung has her work cut out for her. From our vantage point, right to left break and a good bit of it. Navigates the challenge well. She's rightfully fired up with that putt. Something to build a little momentum around. Pak Ji-young's chance to move within 2 of the top. Downhill, so not a lot of speed is needed here, but she needs a little more than that. Keep her at 8 under that par. Jungmin on a gnarly line. If she misses, she drops back to even, and that would be below the cut line. That's where the fear would have originated. Slim margins. Can't get the first putt to drop. So instead she drops. Has a little bit of time, of course, to get back to at least 1 under, 2 under to feel extra confident. She is now 11 strokes off of each AM2.
배가 살짝 우측으로 살짝. 근데 이 정도면은
Winding fairway. Second shot to set up the approach at 5. Kim Min-sun 7 now down to 3 under. She has been better, at least closer to her Friday-esque approach shots. The putter has been the letdown club in the bag. Arriving in the front quarter, front third of the green, off the tee, So Yeon-jung. Equidistance. A good one for Bak Ji-young. Funnels the tee shots back towards the middle. The depth is the primary concern at number 14.
그거보다 살짝 오른쪽 봐도 될 것 같아.
Reaching the first hole, which by virtue of our 144 players in the field is number 10 today for that group. Lands just before the green, absorbs a lot of the speed and settles about 3 meters past. It's a good one from Park Ju-young. She was hoping for a fleeting moment she would hit her partner's golf ball and slow her up. Carried lots of speed and rolls to the backside of the green. Long overdue and well deserved. Ji-young. That's another to the good as she climbs up the leaderboard. Impressive to the round of Shin-Shio. She would have expected to have and now has to deal with the fallouts. Gail knew that was a 2-shot proposition, so the first putt gets her just about exactly where she needs to be. So Yeon-jung, we have a pretty good reference point for the straightness of the putt, as it was right in line with the stick. So it moved off course at the end. Jay Ream looking for 8 under par, but just a bit short.
Nice ball. Nice.
Kyungin, her First time we see her today. She is on 18. She is at 4 under. That's a really, really well executed approach shot. She has been going about her business consistently, confidently, and is finally rewarded for it with a birdie. Buckyall to stay 3 back. She missed a chance for a birdie at the last with a short putt. No such drama here. It's unreasonable to call that a hopeful first putt. Much different circumstance for Che Nu than where she was about 15 minutes ago.
나이스.
Young with the birdie now. Puck Too Young with the birdie. Sweet and successful. Score closer to the lead after a 19-meter putt. So Jung is getting up there in terms of holes played today. Sends her drive to the right side of the fairway. Knew she was close to the rough, is able to avoid it though. Tee blocks. The downhill par 3. Good start. Buckiel, she is through 14 holes. That gives her 15, 16, 17, and 18 remaining. Only needs 3 to tie at the top. Shea Reem also still very much in the fray. Pak Ji-young, they're 5 back, but still with half a round to play. Chung Yoon-ji also worth highlighting, her 68 here in the second round of the 13th E1 Charity Open. things back up with Pak Jiyoung. A little bit of a breeze at her back. She ends up closest to the pin. And a threesome with a trio of very solid approaches. Everyone will be putting for birdie. Pak Jiyoung's drive just rolled into the rough, left of the fairway. Her second shot at 13. Really wasn't taking any chances with that bunker, and who could falter? Chanu on the par 3 14th. Round really speeds along this point of the back nine. Par 3, par 4, par 3 again. Coming back towards the middle. Lovely, lovely tee shot. On hole number 9, it's Lee Jae-yoon. Running this up from the fringe to just about 10 centimeters away. And Serene, our 7th hole of the day. Hey, ho, ho, ho. 2 different occasions where it changed directions over the edge of the cup. No dice, she'll have to settle for par. Well, the rain has gone away. Horizons extending, gazing out towards the mountains here in Gyeonggi-do. 160, but 4 meters below the pin as she approaches the second shot. Solid contact, just enough to roll through the fringe, though it almost immediately returns to the front of the green. J1. Downhill with a little left to right break. And the birdie is hers. 4 under. She'll be fortunate to be in the second cut and not the third, but So Young-jung knows that this is not an ideal position. 7-iron, 150. I imagine the safety first mindset will be applied here. Yes, very much so. Very wide, which depending on your perspective means very shallow green to attack. 8 might have been the preferred club. Now here on the par 5, Kim Min-sun 7 for a birdie. She's just not reading the greens well today. Your heart goes out to her. 2 very different 18s in progress. From one yesterday where she could not put a foot wrong to one today where she can't seem to buy a birdie. Ream once again finds herself in a position to move to a share of third spot. Very long putts. She'll have to be okay with the par. Less than 4 meters out, Pak Ji-young. A head scratcher. Break on that, but wouldn't call it particularly challenging. It's enough to throw her off her rhythm, though. Shayanu will have enough on this putt to go to 6 under. .4 meters, Pacquiao must putt just inside of the fringe. Takes the hopeful approach, and it just about pays off. Yep, I think this is generally where I want to be. Less than the width of a ball was she left. Stalling out in the final few holes, though. Pak Ji-young, right to left breaking putt. Just firm enough to get it started. She has putt well the last 45 minutes or so. Just a little bit less power than needed. Social contribution tracker up to 1.6 billion won. There's Han Bit Na +4. She'll need 5 at least on the back 9 to qualify for tomorrow. And player with a bright future, just lacking a little bit of consistency this weekend so far. For Jay Ream as she holds firm for one more hole. And Jung avoids dropping. Pacquiao will be hoping for the same outcome. Short Sweeps him to the point. Just about the perfect position to land that tee shot. Just a couple of short meters away. Not of satisfaction for Park Ji-young. Yang Yan on number 9, pardon me. Really nice. Bouncing, rolling to the top of the downslope and tracks down well. Only one player in the group found success with shot number 2. One from the rough, one short of the green. Some work to do. Shorter, and she might have needed a snorkel. Wiped the bead of sweat off her forehead. Just escapes. That is stuff of dreams. It's a great start to the hole. Safer, but not all that much closer, Buckgill. From that line, we'll take that with both hands. The best sound she's heard in well over an hour. Julian back-to-back birdies. 34 at the turn, time for 31st position. Chenu 150 even, 15th hole. A little more than a nudge. Young Ayon, 34 at the midway mark for her. Jay Ream, her putt for a birdie. Breaking off hard. Needed to start it another foot or two to the left to give it a chance. There's always going to likely be 2 for Park Ji-young. Number 2 will be much further than she would have hoped. Park Ji-young moves within 4. 4 holes to play. Continues to dominate her short game play around the green and on. Has been mistake-free for large swaths of this 18-hole section of the tournament. Lee Ga-young trying to avoid a bogey that would take her to the cut line. This on 13 doesn't give it enough smack. She'll be on thin ice the rest of the way in, trying to qualify for the final round tomorrow. Now So-yeon Jung, 3 holes to go. This is her final par 3. Putts from the fringe to inside of a meter. Kim Min-byul not long removed from the birdie to take her under par. She is on the good side of the cut line to 2 under. .2 for Pacquiao. This has only been made 8% of the time in 2025, this distance. Taking that average down closer to 7. Just been in a rut and can't seem to shake it. Shea Ream, oh no. That was a tap-in. Played it like a 3-meter putt, and even though she was online, she pops back out. And it will be a bogey. It's been a rarity for her today. I can hardly believe it.
I did.
Kim Sun 7, that is long, long overdue. Good for her. A little bit of a reset. Nice to see a smile on a challenging day. Curious to see how Cheonu plays this. This is her setup for a par. Tries to drive it hard into the hillside and see the ball mosey its way back online. That will be a very difficult putt for par. Slightly smaller degree of difficulty this for Park Ji-young, but not by much. To prevent the bogey, always a tick in the column. It's 3.7 meters with more than enough break to make it challenging. Just about saved it, Cheonu. A couple of those bogeys in the last few holes. It's time to steady the ship, but she'll want to do it in a hurry. Tee shot on the par 3 down into the valley.
뒤에서 부는 바람 좀
Jung not quite able to find the fairway in the home stretch of the second round. Beeline for the right fringe after it lands on the green off the tee. Will be the last of the group to tee off on 14. microscope, you wouldn't be able to find anything wrong with that first shot from Pacquiao.
벙커 아니 신경 안 써.
Great bounce just before the green. Takes up a lot of the remaining yardage, though she has a rather tricky uphill putt to come. This will have the speed, but not quite the alignment. One more tap to get it the rest of the way. Jiyoung avoided disaster and somehow is able to recover out, not just onto the green, but pin high. She was centimeters away from that ball being essentially lost. Punching Shield. 4.7 meters. We'll move at the end. Perfect putts. Well done. Golf to play, but as we enter the 4 p.m. local time hour, she's going to be fighting the clock as much as she's going to be fighting the course. Pacquiao trying to avoid the bunker. Up on the rise just to the front left of the green. Set at the par for Park Ji-young. So Jung, the second shot coming out of the rough. She has gone right back there. Just a little bit short of her target. Roars of disbelief. Frustrating one. A lot of near misses. Good putts, but leaving a bit too much work to do. Jens Serin officially at the 50% mark, looking to head to the back with birdie. Park Ju-young, she's been on a great run. Can it continue? It won't here. Work for Soyeon Jung. Just like Cheonu here. Struggling to find the green with a tee shot. She once again has to play from off the green. Reem now suddenly a par save. Keeps the flag in and uses it as an assist. So it's down to the final 2 holes for Park Yeol, 3 back. Park Ju-young with 1 hole more to play at that same score. And one stroke behind, pardon me, 7 under. Projected cut remains at -1. And we see Cheonu starting to fall deeper and deeper. She needs to straighten things out in a hurry as we near the end of our second round of the 13th E1 Charity Open live at the Payram Club. It is 4:10 local time in Yojushi. Just have to wonder if Pacquiao is running out of gas. She is fighting it, trying to stay alive and keep pushing towards the top spot. She is soon going to be passed by Pak Ji-young if she keeps up her great play. Operating on a different wavelength right now. And Serene 5.2 meters up the hill, but not solving the break. A bit of a cold run right now, settling for a par. Back to 15. Approach shot from the fairway will just trickle on. Incredible control with the wedge to keep herself within 5 meters or so of the birdie. Pak Ji-young. She found the sand trap after the driver. Blasting it out of the bunker, but a bit too much power. So they're all the way to the back. She'll stop on the fringe and have the option. Reem, 8-iron, 16. Gentle, controlled swing. Didn't overplay it. In fact, she just about perfectly played it. Driver from the top of the hill makes a beeline for the rough. 18 is underway for Pacquiao. We were a little bit worried when we were checking the forecast just before the broadcast started. That's what the rain might do. make some adverse conditions that were hard to navigate, but the exact opposite has been true. The course has stayed very attackable, very soft, and the pins, which are certainly not as challenging as many will be tomorrow for Championship Sunday. Young a long way back. She begins now.
너무 잘했어. 스타트할 때도 잘해줘야 같은 사람.
Slightly miss it. It's much more to the left. She would have been hoping for. Meters exactly, Pacquiao. The second shot from the rough. Can she stay in the fairway? Yes. And we'll have a pretty good look down to the green from there. Off as we enter the early evening. Cooling off the play, that's for sure. Park Ji-young not able to get to 8 under par. Similar sudden dose of putting struggles like Pacquiao. To avoid the bogey. Birdie as well. Coming up here on the par 3. Good tee shot, leaves very little to do. Pacquiao, this is her last big chance. And the back section made something bordering on remarkable to see that score positively influenced. Fantastic off the tee. Left to right move, stays in the middle of the fairway.
플리하겠습니다. 이동 멈춰주세요.
Pesoyeon number 2 on the 15th, 7 back. Young, the penultimate hole. Too much power this time. Not often an issue, but rolls off the fairway. A little bit off that putt. Six iron for Kim Min-sun, 7 on the par 3. Remember, she started the day at 8 under. It's much more like it. It's to finish it off, of course.
네.
Scout for Soyeon Jung as she arrives on the green. Where do we want to put this?
좀
Where do we
내려가는 거
expect it to
봐주셔야죠.
break?
계속 내리막인데 중간 지나서 네, 좀 더 내려가는 것 같아요.
Done all her prep, now it's time to deliver. Starting to move off to the inside line and stops a couple of feet short.
공기가 거의 있는데 딱 끝까지는 공간만 봐도 돼요.
Down safe and sliding back to the middle. Base of that little valley. Pacquiao, it turns on the 18th. And finally adds one more. It was a run after the 11th, including a bogey at 17. A very solid day. She will very much be in the hunt when she arrives on the course tomorrow. Wide left of the social contribution zone. It's almost impossible to miss. It's the entire width of the fairway. Motion shield up and down. And the same motion. Stops about 4 feet short. Well in. Also joins her partner just wide of both the target and the fairway. We, in the meantime, can go to 15. It's Pei So-hyun. Long way back. This is a setup shot. Needs to move left. Stays pretty well straight all the way through. And So-hyun Jung with just a tap in. She goes out with a 34, in with a 35. 3 under 69 today. J-Ring here at 17 will just clear the thick rough. Distance on the approach to reach the green. Second to last for Park Ju-young. It's been the story of the back nine, that's for sure.
나이스.
Nice first putt. There won't be much left to do. Back to 16. Pick up speed on the way down the hill. The line is good. Just hangs on. It's a birdie. Unfortunately for Cheyenne, she's not able to get herself back into the fairway. She has headed near, if not along, the cart path. Young to get to 8 under par. It's not gonna have the legs. Might have moved past the outside of the pin with a little extra. Tap in for a par, and she is through 35 of 36 holes. One more glance to make sure Kim Soo-ji knows exactly the right area to align herself in the thick rough. 286 still to go on 18. How does she navigate this particular predicament? Some residual frustration from the initial drive, but it's a good recovery. Unfortunate carom for Kim Min-sun 7 is once again the driver lets her down, skipping into the rough. Checking in with the latest tee shots on 16. Despite a fairly significant crosswinds. Reaches the green without incident. Park Ji-young, you never need to question her driver. She skips as well, though. 2 touches of the fairway before settling in the taller grass. Be able to stay with the back 9 of Han Ji-won. She is at 2 under after 9. After 27, I suppose, to be more specific. She is over par at the turn. We'll head back to number 18, Che Reem. Not going for the full driver, just wants to place this in the fairway and worry about the next step later. What we've seen lately, maybe not a bad call. Park Ji-young's going to roll the dice. Brilliantly today. Straight through and down, longest tee shot by quite a significant margin. Tied for 5th within 4. Birdie at the last makes it 3 and a podium spot. Also, almost certainly guarantee she'll be in the feature group tomorrow. 160 for Kim Soo-ji. Back in the fairway after a tee shot gone awry. I think she got a helpful boost from the wind. Second shot for Che Inu, also having recovered well. As for much better with putter. Good ends.
플레이하겠습니다.
Jay Ream, her second 297 over the bridge into the fairway.
플레이하겠습니다.
너무 가까이.
Loose call on the putt, but despite the brilliant approach, Peng Shinshio couldn't get it there. Long way to traverse the width of the green. One more nudge.
아이, 모르겠어요.
And next up, Kim Min-sun 7 at 17. Really struggling with both their fairways and greens in regulation. Chanu. Decent first putt, but always felt like it would need a little more. From the crowd says it all. We're pin seeking and she found it. That's how you know you have a devoted caddy. Crouch down in the sand to get the perfect line. It's a team sport, this. .6 meters up the hill into the wind. All the variables to navigate. Saves one last splashy moment. One-upping her performance from yesterday. She finishes tied for 12th at 5 under par. Start tomorrow's final round 6 strokes back. Is the score that Kim Soo-ji just vacated. And a par for Chanu to finish around the 73. Only one birdie. It came at 14, 6, and 15. Holes where she dropped. Just outside the top 10 by day's end. Sun 7 needs to get this close so she avoids a bogey situation. That and just about more. Tied for 5th when she teed off. Birdie would bring her level with Pacquiao and Imi Jung. There's the backspin, comes in just in the nick of time. Seen her make longer than that. Park Ji-young for birdie here. Didn't quite anticipate the break. She knew it was going to slide right, but she didn't think it was going to slide that much. So no improvements. That score to the 18th tee. Glancing that just inside the fringe, but rolling the furthest from the pin. Tough spot to start for Park Ji-young in the rough. She went for the power.
플레이하겠습니다. 플레이하겠습니다. 이동 멈춰주세요.
So Hyun is settled on the 8-iron. 123 to go from the rough. Fortunate end result as she was short, skips around the rough and gets trapped in there. Well, it sounded as good as it looked. Textbook drive for Park Ji-young. Punching Shield will go with the 9-iron 113 on the border of the fairway. Slope towards the fringe and a meter or two back down the hill, or maybe more. Here it comes. 10 out of 10. No notes, no critiques. Excellent on. The action is heating up. Park Ji-young, Chae Reem both on the 18th hole, tied for 5th position at 7 under. Park Yeol officially in the clubhouse with a 69. Jung Ji-yo a 68. Same scores for Eugenia, Seo-jin, and Chung Yoon-ji in this second round. Projected cut still -1. We'll step aside and come back to wrap up some more rounds. As our coverage of the 13th E1 Charity Open will take a quick break. We'll be back with more on the other side. nearing the end here on a Friday afternoon in Gyeonggi-do. Cutting into the wind. Here comes the downhill. Late break on its way. Slightly short. Two, and it is a par. 68 in the first round, 69 today. Maybe not the featured group, the final group tomorrow, but tied for ninth. Kim Min Sun 7. She would have had realistic expectations of being in that position when she arrived on the course today, but it's the unfortunate most recent example of just how difficult the sport this can be. Reem. Pace looks okay. Good putts. Great birdie. Solid round overall. 67 in the opener, 69 today. She is 3 back, tied for third. 2/3 of the way through the tournament. Kim Min-byul will do a full 360. It was an up and down round. In the end, she finishes 1 under. 3 bogeys, 4 birdies, including a highlight reel finish to round number 2. Green light lit for Park Ji-young, 263. Advance the furthest. Some safe iron plays. Set up the approaches. While we wait, take a quick detour. Hae So-hyun in the rough. No definitive look at the lie. We know it's not ideal. She makes it look easy though. Opportunity for Peng Shin-chil to move to 5 under. Whites have the read figured out. Approach time. Scintillating. Just about make that birdie with her eyes closed. Young joins in on the highlight reel approach party.
Wow.
Blasting that drive into a welcoming portion of the fairway. Nobody wanted to be outdone by the other in this group. So good on Pak Ji-young. Final walk onto the green. 3 hours down. Just a few minutes and a few more groups remaining before we say goodbye at the end of the day here. Shaping up to be a marvelous race to the finish line tomorrow afternoon. Pak Ji-young, another close call.
편하게 하셔도 돼요.
Agonizing back nine. 70, but she knows it could have been 66 or even better.
내가 좀 밀어치고.
Margins were so fine today, as they typically are. Punishing Shield, 303, edge of the fairway.
어떻게 핀이 오른쪽인데 저렇게 가서 어떡하나. 여기는 어차피 왼쪽 쪽으로 치는 거 핀이 저쪽 거기다 좋게 치는 거. 이건 거의 지켰다.
Advancing down without incident.
지금 뭐 최소 다 시작을 혹시 하나 차리고 나오면 이분이네. 이거 다 하겠다.
Lee Young to reach 2 under par. It's only 2.2 meters away. Wobbled, but stayed on line. So Hyun just off the fairway. She misses the fairway again.
서현이는 뭐 카메라맨 뛰어가고 문제 들어가면
She has done well to stabilize, if not recover, for a round of 74.
버디 감사합니다. 수고하셨습니다.
이게 얼마짜리인지 모르는데.
EA1, she came into this tournament with high hopes after back-to-back victories, including the Tucson match play. She is not going to make the cut. She has struggled today. She was a 71 yesterday. Now well down over par. Can't leave him around the ridge. Middle of the green, punching shield. Third shot from the rough. Okay, so Hyun needs to slow down. Final walk down to the green, the gallery following a group that we had high hopes for today. Kim Min-sun 7, the leader. EA1 looking for 3 straight victories, and Bae So-hyun always a threat.
할때 끼면 알 것 같아. 그냥 아니면 진짜 그거 범퍼에서 그만 쓰고. 실례하겠습니다.
EA1 from the tall grass. Softly played. That's the up. Gotta get down for par.
우리가 더 먹어가?
손만 보면 될 것 같은데요? 끝에 손만 보면 될 것 같은데, 여기는.
마흔 살을 딱 넘어가면서
이쪽이죠.
중간에 이것도 참 좋은데
예원이 막 쓰고도 살짝 안 해보면 될 것 같은데.
오케이. 실례하겠습니다.
A long way back up the hill, just running out of speed.
약간 여기서부터 내리막 가야 될 것 같은데. 여기서부터 약간 슬라이스 라이가 내리막으로 슬라이스 라이.
Do get a birdie after all. Jin Shield, little magic to end the day. Rocky threw 7, 2 bogeys, but she absolutely turned it up at that point.
초반에는 그래도 길이 그냥 풀릴 것 같지 않아요? 살짝만 보면 될 것 같아.
at par, and that's where she'll bow out of the tournament. 75 today. Maybe it's someone else's turn to get the Sunday shower. So Young one-ups her score from yesterday, shoots a 69 to be 5 under after 36 holes. Well, that brings us to the end. Let's go back and revisit the best of this Saturday in Yojushi. Well, the leaderboard, certainly the top of it was all kinds of jam-packed. Kim Min-sun 7 in the last group to tee off. So Iche and 2, not messing around, not wasting any time. Getting up to 8 under par after just 11 holes of work. Back-to-back birdies at that point to go to 9 under, and heading off next to hole number 6. Really tricky pin placement down the slope towards the fringe. Speed control is absolutely paramount. See Mi Jung once again. Put herself in a position to contest for the title. Tomorrow's final round. Now, someone else that we should not forget about for a moment. Fan favorite Park Young. That was her 4th birdie with 5 holes remaining. And this was early in the day. We're trying to go in order of the holes to keep things organized, but you can see at that point Kim Min-sun 7 had not even teed off yet. One of the best tee shots on the par 3s. It would be met, if not surpassed, by Iche and 2. Here on number 6 with the wind at her back. Added that to the calculus and spit out a great first shot, and the putt would just have enough to reach. 10 under at that point. We would not be done. We'll get to that in a moment. First, we want to see on hole number 9, which was 18, bring her at a 3rd birdie in the final 4 holes of her afternoon. Go to 8 next, and this was again in the morning when the rain was bordering on torrential. Close call from Park Young, looking for an ace. She would tap in for the birdie. This was the last hole of the day for Iche and 2. From the fringe, under the pelting rain, slide in one more. And because of that, when we resume tomorrow, she will be our leader. Let's see how we got to the rest of the top 10. That's what we are most curious about. See another par 3 with those ultra soft, almost cashmere greens. Tee shot to about 2.5 meters. That would set up another bird. This was on hole number 9. Pacquiao back-to-back and officially 33 at the turn. She couldn't quite sustain that same level of success late in the back 9, but this was a rather special moment. Excuse me, should have been a rather special moment. This is where the wheels started to fall off. Bogeying here to drop out of that share of third position. The putter, well, it was at times her nemesis today.
나이스
At other times, we were reminded of what Scorpio could do when everything was lining up just right. She'll need more of the putt we had previously seen to keep herself in contention tomorrow. This on 17, the other end of that spectrum. She had a chance to go to 9 under. That would have been a tie for third. Couldn't quite find it. Then on 18 at 6.2 meters. Great read, perfect putts. She would reach that T3 mark after all was said and done. Hole number 16, it was an 8-iron on the par 3. Good carries, the winds had slowed down, if not completely died off. 3 or 4 footer would be all that would remain there for the birdie, and this was a putt she really had to work for. Cherry shooting a 69 today to make it a 3-way tie for third position. So that brings us to an end for this Friday afternoon. Really fascinating leaderboard. Cannot wait already to get back to work tomorrow, where we will crown a champion. 13th E1 Charity Open. From 144 players in the field to what is at the moment looking like a 69-player field for the final round on Sunday, with some big names just on the wrong side of the cut line. Even wouldn't be enough to see you qualify for holes 37 through 54. Tomorrow, we will present a check for $180 million, and we will crown a champion in this 9th event of the KLPGA Tour season. A reminder, we will be on the air 1 hour earlier tomorrow, so set your calendars and your alarms accordingly. You won't want to miss a minute of Championship Sunday. For all of us at the KLPGA Tour, my name is Adam Jenkins. It's been a pleasure to have you along today. Look forward to doing it all again tomorrow. The 13th E1 Charity Open live in the Payram Club in Yojushi.